They call me Dead Code. A legacy relic. For 12 years, I was the ghost in the machine of a $2 billion empire, the one who scrubbed the mold, fixed the lawsuits, and buried my own birthdays under tax maps while the CEOs played golf. When the new sharks moved in, they didn't just fire me, they tried to erase me from history. But they forgot one thing. I didn't just build this company. I wrote the law that governs it. And in exactly 3 weeks, at their $375 million Victory Gala, I'm pulling the pin on a grenade made of paperwork. If you've ever been the person doing all the work while someone else takes the credit, this one is for you. Today, we're watching a quiet turn a revenge engine. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're ready to see a buzzword pirate walk the plank. Let's get into it. The Invisible Architect. Jennifer wasn't just a VP at Cypress Holdings. She was the foundation. Imagine a converted textile mill in the middle of a city. Back in 2014, 3 CFOs ago, the visionaries at the top swore it would print money. Instead, it printed mold and lawsuits. While the partners were out celebrating zoning variances they didn't even understand, Jennifer was in the trenches. She handled the asbestos mitigation quietly. No press releases. Just a line item marked resolved in a quarterly report. For 12 years, Jennifer was the asset whisperer. She could recite parcel ID numbers from memory. She knew which county inspectors had gambling debts and which ones actually cared about drainage permits. Once, she restructured a 4-property deal mid-flight using nothing but hotel Wi-Fi and a legacy lease she'd saved in her inbox since 2011. The founding partners, Levin, Chan, and Delero, knew who she was. They weren't operators, they had vision and chaos. Jennifer was the one who turned their maybe into a closing. But her name was never on the shareholder letters. She wasn't on the glossy decks. She wasn't even on the website until an intern added her under compliance support. She stayed because she didn't work for applause. She worked for precision. But even the most precise machine starts to rattle when the foundation begins to crack. The sharks arrive. The crack appeared when Levin and Chan decided to cash out. A new majority stakeholder was coming, Grant Pelm. Grant walked into Cypress Holdings like he was picking out parts for a rental Porsche. He was tall, overconfident, and moved with a team of aggressively mediocre Ivy Leaguers. They didn't build, they modernized. They didn't manage, they disrupted. The culture shifted overnight. New titles appeared: Strategic Vision Partner, Chief Narrative Officer. Jennifer's title? It became a question mark on a whiteboard in a room she wasn't invited into. First, they stopped CCANG her on reports. Then, her access to the compliance drive expired. When she finally got the meeting, it wasn't a discussion. It was a eulogy. 2 HR reps, fresh out of some corporate detachment boot camp, read from a script. Operational streamlining. Reorganizational synergies. We're offering 2 weeks severance, the younger one said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Jennifer didn't cry. Her left eye gave a single, microscopic twitch. She just picked up her pen, out of habit, and nodded once. Like a priest closing a casket. The Dead Code's tripwire. They thought they were done with her. They called her Dead Code at happy hours. They rebranded her reports as Transformation Insights. They literally erased her byline from her own life's work. But Jennifer was the one who had licked the glue on the original envelopes. 8 months before the sharks arrived, Jennifer had been sitting in her office at 9:47 p.m., eating stale pretzels. She was reviewing a Frankenstein deal called CUPA, a mess of 7 parcels and 3 municipalities. It was high risk. Because she was the only adult in the room, she had added a clause. It was a side paragraph in a section nobody reads, buried under Joint Redevelopment Oversight Protocol. The trigger: any transfer of portfolio assets exceeding $40 million would require written, notarized consent from all original signatories of the joint venture. At the time, she told the old partners it was legacy protection. They were half distracted, chewing nicotine gum, and e-signed it from their phones without a single follow-up question. Jennifer saved the document. She backed it up on an encrypted drive. She printed a hard copy and hid it in a folder labeled CUPA JVV5 Final behind an old stapler in her desk. She didn't plan on revenge. She just knew Cyprus was getting too fast, too loose, and too arrogant. She laid a legal tripwire dressed up as boring policy. And Grant Pelm was about to sprint right into it. Part F, the climactic payoff. The gala and the ghost. 3 weeks before a massive $375 million closing, the crown jewel of Grant's visionary leadership, Jennifer sent a single email. She sent it at 9:06 a.m. on a Tuesday. Caffeinated enough to be read, but before the chaos of the day. It went to the buyer's agent, Thomas R. Clean. Thomas, you may want to review the Crosswell framework from 2021. Section 11D. There's a compliance inconsistency tied to consent authority. 2 hours later, her phone buzzed. Jennifer, please call me ASAP. Confidential. The night of the closing gala at the Larchmont Grand was a sea of champagne and ego. Grant was giving interviews, his teeth practically glowing under the chandeliers. Vision meets execution, he cheered. Jennifer arrived in a matte black dress that whispered authority. She sat in the back, behind a potted ficus, watching the pirates celebrate a victory they hadn't earned. At 8:30 p.m., they moved to the Sequoia room for the public signing. The press was there. The gold pens were laid out like surgical tools. Ladies first, Grant joked, gesturing to the buyer's counsel, Evelyn Park. Unless it's about credit, then I'll go. Evelyn didn't laugh. She slid a paper across the table. Before we proceed, we need to clarify Section 11D. The writer clause. The room went ice cold. Grant waved it off. Legacy clause. Internal counsel cleared it. It doesn't apply. It does, Evelyn said. It requires unanimous consent from original signatories. And there is one name missing from this table. Every head in the room turned. Jennifer stood up from the back. She didn't move like a victim. She moved like a conductor. She walked to the table and laid the original, notarized document down. I'm not on the payroll, Jennifer said, her voice cutting through the silence like a diamond. You removed me from the org charts, Grant. But you couldn't remove me from the law. Grant's face went from tan to ghostly white. This is obstruction. Get legal to override this. His own attorney, Clifford, just stared at the paper. There is no override, Grant. She's not asking for a seat. She is the building. The terms of surrender. What do you want? Grant croaked. He looked small. The champagne in his hand was losing its fizz. Jennifer looked at Evelyn, the only other person in the room who actually understood the gravity of an $80 million liability exposure. 3 things, Jennifer said. Public acknowledgement of her role in the portfolio. 2% retroactive equity from Cyprus's share, about $7.5 million. Reinstatement as Senior Director of Strategic Compliance, reporting directly to the board. Or, Jennifer added, I don't sign. And this $375 million deal dies right here, in front of all these cameras. Grant looked at the press. He looked at the buyer. He looked at the woman he called Dead Code. He didn't have a choice. Jennifer picked up a gold pen, the one meant for Grant's victory, and signed her name. Not as an employee. As the owner of the threshold. Jennifer didn't burn the empire down. She didn't have to. She just reminded them that while visionaries build the towers, the people who read the fine print own the land they stand on. Karma isn't always a lightning bolt, sometimes, it's just a side paragraph in a document you were too arrogant to read. If that ending gave you the chills, smash that like button. It helps us keep the lights on and the stories coming. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen a quiet person absolutely destroy an arrogant boss? I want to hear your stories. Don't forget to subscribe for more Revenge Engine. See you in the next one.